Today I'm going to be stepping a little outside of my comfort zone in a lot of different ways. I am doing an unboxing video, which I don't understand the point of unboxing videos, and I never considered doing an unboxing video. And then I ordered something in the mail and it came in this box, and I thought, all right, that's a pretty cool box. I'm gonna wait to open it, and actually make a video out of it. So we're gonna do that. Before we do that, I'm gonna give you a little backstory. For those of you who don't know, my name is Brian. I have two vintage Volkswagens, and in those vintage Volkswagens, there was some really messy stereo equipment. And so first I'm going to talk about that real quick and the journey so far and how we ended up here. So here we go. So the first guy I want to talk about, this was the original stereo that came with my Volkswagen Beetle, my 1971 Volkswagen Beetle. This is not the original stereo. They did not have cassette tapes in 1971. But it's still vintagey, it's still kind of cool, and when we got it, well, at least the radio worked, and I didn't own any cassette tapes, but I was able to put put one of those cassette adapters that went into my cell phone and use that. So some part of it worked. One thing that I think is super cool is when you adjust the radio dial, there's a little string that actually physically moves in here to move the little dial back and forth. I just thought that was so cool. I love old physical tech. Anyway. For some reason, this just stopped working one day. I've made a few attempts at fixing it. I don't really know how to fix this kind of stuff, so who knows? Maybe it works just fine, and I just haven't figured out what to plug in yet. Might come back to this. One thing that is kind of interesting, obviously this is not what a stereo looks like normally, and I was not aware of this, but here's sort of how it fits together. This was the inside of the car. Then this sort of plate went over that. Went over that. And that's kind of how it looked. I may have those in the wrong order, but you get the idea. Anyway, neither here nor there. This is the first stereo. First piece of garbage, or whatever. Actually, I think this one's kind of cool. Might come back, try to fix it. Number two in the journey is this piece of garbage here. This is a kind of 90s, it's a 90s CD player, and it had one of those removable faces on it. And in order to get inside of the dashboard at one point, we kind of destroyed it. It never really super worked anyway. I think it was probably cheap in the 90s, and even cheaper now. This is just a hunk of garbage, and I don't really care about it. So I've got two cars, no working stereo. And I got this kind of crazy idea. What if I started looking at like vintage cool old stereos that could go in there, and I looked at the original one that went in there, but the original was just a radio. There are upgrades so you can make them Bluetooth, but they're like hundreds of dollars, and I just wasn't ready to go there. I kind of wanted to do something a little cheaper, but also kind of fun and interesting, and whatever. So I got this idea to start looking at vintage 8-tracks. I thought it would be pretty cool to be driving in a vintage Beetle and pop in an 8-track of Willie Nelson or the Electric Light Orchestra and just jam that. I mean, I feel like that that'd be pretty awesome. I finally ended up finding our next contestant. It's a Sanyo 888 8-track cassette player, and I think it's beautiful. When you open it up, the inside is just stunning. It's I'm so impressed with the innards of it. It's like a painting, some sort of painting in silver. It's really, really beautiful. So this was my next guy, and when I got it, this little rubber doodad here was broken. It was snapped, which I've been told is sort of the first thing that you should check on an 8-track player. If the 8-track player doesn't work, it's always that rubber band. Unfortunately, it took me a couple of tries to find the right size. I finally found the right size. I got it in there. I have tried several times to get power to run through this thing and have been unsuccessful. And again, I am not actually an electrician. I'm just an idiot who likes shocking myself, apparently. So this was, beyond just attaching electrodes to the spots where the electricity looks like it's supposed to go. I don't know what to do. And so I've been trying to figure this out, and I've been playing with different things, and it just so happened that something else popped up on eBay, very, very reasonably priced, and I couldn't turn it down. So I just went ahead and ordered it, and it arrived. But the exciting part was, by the way, so remember what this guy looks like, because it's, these guys are cousins, which is part of the excitement of all this. Imagine my surprise when this shows up at my door. That is the original box. And I don't know what year this is from, but it is freaking old. This is really old. And I'm just so excited. So I decided, we're going to hold off and we're going to try this out. So again, this guy right here is where are we? FT888. This one right here is an FT863M 8-track car stereo player. And let's see what we've got inside the box, shall we? And I did, by the way, cut up my address a little bit. Nothing personal, but I didn't feel like broadcasting that. But most of the rest of this I've just left to do here. So let's see what we got. I'm going to rip as little tape as possible, because, like I said, this box is original. Looks like it's got a little bit of water damage in the corner, but not much. This is cool. That's really cool that they had the old school, those strings they used to tie everything with. All right, let's see. Just checking to make sure it's not actively wet, because you never know. Doesn't feel like it. It feels like old damage. I don't want to cut these strings, so it's going to be the tape or the strings, I'm afraid. Let's get as much of the tape off as possible without ripping the paper. My grandmother used to save our wrapping paper every year for Christmas, you know, year after year. I feel like, you know, like saving. Oh, gotta save all the wrapping. I guess if we're living in a depression again, maybe it's time to start saving wrapping paper again. All right. Really do want to protect this box. This box is so cool. Whoa, this is bigger. Way bigger. Oh my God. Oh my God, this is cool. Just real quickly so you can see, I'm going to put the old 8-track on top of this new one. So you can see the size difference. This new one is going to be significantly larger than the other one. Right. Oh, there's toys in here. Oh my God, kind of a mess. Of course, there's no paperwork. I mean, I wouldn't have expected any, but with the original box, I thought maybe. All right. There's a broken thingamabob aerial. This is going to be a mount, possibly like an underdash mount. I don't know if that's, you know, sometimes people have these sort of underdash mounts and they mount them underneath their dash. And with the size of this one, that may be a thing. Whoa. Wow. This is really cool. This is really cool. Okay. And of course, I can already see that the rubber band is broken. I could see this sitting in there. Oh, it's not broken. So maybe it's still okay. Maybe it just fell off. But that's the rubber band. All right. Now, one thing I noticed with the old, the Volkswagen Bug, the tape deck, is it had this weird connector, and I see it here too. It's this sort of round plastic thing. Oh, and I bet that's where the broken pieces come from. Now I see. And you just sort of pull them apart. But this seems to be the kind of 70s tech. And it's a little tight. And I also don't want to break it any further. But, okay, come on. There we go. And what you got is this little plug that goes into here. And you can see it's missing one, so it lets you know exactly where to plug it in. And that's how the stereo connects to the rest of the car. So these are all the wires. This is the spaghetti that will connect to the power source and to all the speakers and everything, and woo, we call that a thing. There's a word for it, and we call that a wiring harness, and we're gonna deal with all that later. For right now, this is our baby. By the way, COVID hair. My COVID hair is just going to be in my face. I can't help it. I'm in that awkward stage right now. Okay. What I'm noticing here, first of all, the other 8-track that I had did not have a radio in it. This one right here appears to have a radio, although it's dark, so there has to be a light behind it that'll light up. But if you look really closely, I can see in there that there are some numbers, and I don't know how. Oh, down here, these little doodads down here are going to adjust and change all that. And then balance and tone. And then I guess the band button will switch it AM, FM, or whatever. And channel, I don't know how much you know about 8 tracks, but they switch between 4 different stripes of music. So that's what we're going to do by hitting channel. It's going to switch between 1, 2, 3, and 4 different parts of the tape and play different songs. So when it says 8 track, it's because there are 4 tracks left and right. It's a stereo system, so it'll be either 4 different songs or 4 different, loops of songs or whatever. And then it has a fast forward. It does not have a rewind, which I don't think I've ever seen an 8 track with a rewind. And we have all these guys over here. So, okay, that's our new baby. Now the next step is going to be to actually try putting power through it and see if I can get sound out. That is going to be quite a process, and I don't know if I'm going to be putting that in the same video or not. So I am going to stop right here now that I've introduced you to this guy, and then we'll go see if we can make it work. I will, just as a preview, I will let you know that this right here, our good friend auxiliary battery, is going to be coming in and seeing if we can power. And I have an extra speaker in the other room, but it's going to be quite a little setup to see if we can set that up. So, all right, look forward to seeing you. All right, bye guys.